New on Curiosity Stream. She was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today we toast Minnesota Representative Tom Emmer. And actually, it's one of those things you need to see, but I'll explain it anyway. Tom is a U.S. Representative from Minnesota's 6th Congressional District, and earlier today, he was piped in virtually on Zoom for a meeting of the the House Financial Services. And the very sexy people there, they were preparing to have a conversation about the gig economy. But at the start of the meeting, it was temporarily delayed because Tom, like many people it seems lately, struggles with the Zoom. Now, he was not a cat like the lawyer earlier this week. Instead, he was asked by a colleague, the meeting starts, and they asked if he was okay. I believe the quote was, "Mr. Emmer, are you okay?" He said he was fine. That's when someone else pointed out that his head appeared to be floating upside down on the screen. He explained he didn't know how to fix that, but his appearance was distracting enough that everyone was willing to wait. And wait they did. But eventually he figured it out, and our government can get back to work.
Tom, you're upside down.
Well, they just said, are you all right? And I don't think he knew at first, so he's like, yeah. Then you kind of hear, he's like, yeah, I don't know how to fix it. They're like, we can't do this like this. This is ridiculous. There's a big screen TV, too, so his head was ginormous. Good time.
Yeah.
Good times. Look, I can't use Zoom either, but I don't do Zoom meetings. If you got to do Zoom meetings, figure it out, right?
It is funny, though.
I think the cat filter is my favorite. That's the best. A cat with a southern accent or something. Just, if you have not seen that one, it happened earlier this week. Yeah, out of Texas. Lawyer shows up on, like a Zoom trial kind of thing or something. Whatever.
That's the way they do trials now.
Okay, so, there's 4 panels up there. One was some kind of just text. Then there's 3 faces, and this dude's in the lower right-hand corner, and he's a cat, but it still follows his eyes, so you can see him looking to try to fix the situation. It's good stuff.
And he says, I'm not a cat.
In case you were wondering, I'm not a cat. Let's drink. We pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes a story a story. Hello, Mitch. Welcome to the Men's Room.
How's it going?
Hola! All right, Mitch, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You have one of 3 stories to choose from. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have bite me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
I'm going with the drug one.
Drugs! Drugs it is. In this case, we go to the fine state of Pennsylvania, where after leading police on a high-speed chase through Altoona, man was discovered hiding under a bush with a significant amount of illegal drugs. The man in question, Mr. William Stahl, He was arraigned on felony drug and escape charges, as well as several misdemeanor charges, including driving under the influence of a combination of drugs and alcohol and resisting arrest. Side note, my kind of guy. Now, police noted that his vehicle had a headlight out, but when they pulled up behind him, he started driving erratically as though he were trying to get away. Police chased him through several neighborhoods, noting he sped through numerous intersections without stopping at stop signs. Again, officers, you have to know, if we're involved in a high-speed chase, probably not going to stop at the stop sign. Anyway, after accelerating to speeds of at least 68 miles an hour and making several turns throughout the city, he entered a dead end, and then he fled on foot. Now, when exiting the vehicle, police noted that Stahl grabbed a black backpack, did not put the vehicle in park, so the vehicle continued to drift forward, running into an unattended garage. Police discovered Stahl hiding under a bush, but he failed to comply with several verbal orders, so police reportedly struck him several times with a flashlight wielded as a baton. When he continued to ignore verbal commands, police sprayed him twice with pepper spray. Then they had used a taser on him, then struck him in the ribs and knees until they could finally get him down. At one point during the incident, Stahl allegedly pointed to a nearby house and yelled, "Call the cops! I didn't do it." Jesus. Once in custody, police discovered about 630 packets of a drug and drug paraphernalia. The question is, what drugs did they find on this man? Was it crack, PCP, methamphetamine, or oxys? So crack, PCP, meth, or oxys.
This is not the drug he was on. This is the drug that he had on him.
As far as I know.
Okay.
He definitely had it on him. I don't know what
Hey, do we
drugs
know
they
what
were.
part of Pennsylvania?
Altoona.
Altoona, which is kind of in the middle of the state.
What's going on in Altoona? I feel like that's coming up a lot.
It's Altoona. You ever been there?
I have.
Okay, you know what's going on.
That's definitely methamphetamine.
I think you're right on that one based on the fact that's a pretty depressed area. So oxys seem a little pricey for the area. Not that that's not a problem and has been in the area. But where it's going now is a little expensive.
Yeah, I don't think weed, he would go that crazy to try and hide it.
And it wasn't one of the options.
Mitch, I'm going to join you. I'm going to go on the meth train with you.
I'm aboard the meth train.
Come through.
Yeah, I mean, that area, meth seems about right. Crack seems right, though, too. It's Altoona.
Right. Still cheap.
Ooh. Yeah.
I mean, he's close enough to D.C. He could be PCPing it up. So it's all about the cops chasing him, right? You said they tased him?
He was hiding under the bush. They asked him to get out of the bush. He wouldn't do it. They struck him with a flashlight. Did not comply. They pepper sprayed him. Did not comply. Tasered him. Did not comply. Basically had to do a gang tackle and knee this guy until they complied.
Well,
Right.
he sounds like he was on PCP.
Right, and he yelled at somebody.
He's pointed to a house that was close by and said, "Call the cops," in case he didn't know they were there. I didn't do it.
If you're assuming that the drug that he had was the same drug he was on.
Right.
I mean, I am. Generally, I feel like if you have drugs on you, they're probably the ones you're doing.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
It's the first rule.
It's true of me.
I know, I was holding this.
From Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
We both know they my friend's cocaine.
Right. You know what? I'm going PCP. Just because, I mean, that's a lot of stuff not to go down.
Mitch, you sticking with meth?
I'm going to go with meth, man.
Okay. We're going to find out what this guy was on. Was it crack, PCP, meth, or oxys next?
That was a tease.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Pipe down, Clarence! Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence! If you get injured, the advocates get results.
AdvocatesLaw.com.
Back to the conversation. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category drugs on profile. This we got a PA man who leads police on a high-speed chase. Then he was found hiding in a bush after being tased and attacking multiple officers. He tried to run away with his backpack. Either way, he had drugs on him. The question is, what drugs was he on? Crack, PCP, methamphetamines, or OxyContin?
And Mitch, that is the very question that we posed to you. And look, I mean, there's not a whole lot of hints other than the fact that cops discover him hiding under a bush. They strike him multiple times with a flashlight that they wielded as a baton. He continued to ignore. They sprayed him twice with pepper spray. Wasn't enough. Used a taser. Not enough. Finally hit him in the ribs and knees. Finally, he complied. So you went, originally you said PCP, but then you went meth. But Ted, you were like, that makes sense. It's PCP.
Yeah. No.
No, believe it or not PCP.
All right. Not. Don't believe it.
Not PCP. But Mitch, you agree with Miles that it was methamphetamine? You are correct.
All right.
Usually, it does not take that much for someone on meth.
No. He's got it. Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, Armageddon. The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today. Seth Meyers
on the list.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
Jimmy Fallon.
Yep.
Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right, all these guys have a team of writers that come up with the monologues each and every night, and it's up to you to determine, is this an actual late-night joke, and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Health officials are saying don't do anything on Valentine's Day, as they say it could lead to another surge in COVID-19. Why is everyone so eager to celebrate Valentine's Day? I have no idea. We've never had a better excuse to skip it than this year.
Kimmel. Yeah, sounds like Kimmel.
That is Kimmel.
They're saying don't do anything on Valentine's Day. The health officials, they say it could lead to another surge in COVID-19. Why everyone's so eager to celebrate Valentine's Day, I have no... We've never had a better excuse to skip it than this year.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but a man in Florida turned his uncle's skeleton into an electric guitar.
Yeah.
The Florida man said it sounds so good because the guitar has, quote, a lot of soul.
The Ted Smith.
Yeah. It's because it's dead.
Did you see a picture of it?
I did not.
Because it's an actual skeleton, so it is the ribs and some of the spine and then guitar. It's crazy looking.
I heard some of the music. It sounded pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if you're into, like, metal, or metal. Right. In honor of Valentine's Day, the restaurant Hooters will offer diners free wings if they shred a photo of their ex-partner. For those of you that don't have an ex, Hooters is a restaurant where the waitresses wear tiny shorts.
Seth Meyers.
Fallon.
Myers.
In honor of Valentine's Day, the restaurant chain Hooters will offer diners free wings if they shred a photo of their ex-partner. And for those of you who don't have an ex, Hooters is a restaurant where the waitresses wear tiny shorts.
Taco Bell is releasing a new all-purpose seasoning. And since it's Taco Bell, all-purpose means you can sprinkle it on your food or sprinkle it on your sidewalk to melt the ice.
Seth Meyers.
Jimmy Fallon.
Taco Bell is releasing a new all-purpose seasoning. Yeah, since it's Taco Bell, all-purpose means you can sprinkle it on any food or on your sidewalk to melt the ice.
I like Taco Bell.
I like their sauces a lot.
Yeah, and they already sell their sauces, but I'm just like, I don't know, is it
Is it like taco meat flavor? I guess the all-purpose seasoning.
Taco meat flavor.
Wait, what are you?
I don't know.
Like, what product are you mimicking?
All I know is if you get the home hard and soft Taco Bell dinner kit, pretty solid.
Have you had it?
Yeah, nothing wrong with Ortega, but I mean the Taco Bell's just got Taco Bell seasoning,
right?
So it just tastes.
I don't think I want to know,
like the powdered stuff you put on the hamburger meat.
Sure,
it's
you'll be like it's paprika and dandruff. You know, like, I don't. It doesn't matter.
The difference is you actually will use real ground beef.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those things, man. Like I don't know. I'm like, if I want Taco Bell, I'll go to the Taco Bell.
Sure.
At home, it's not Taco Bell.
But I'd rather have Taco Bell at home than the tacos I'm going to eat. Like Miles said, nothing wrong with Ortega, whatever. There's nothing wrong with it. But, I mean, that's just a taste of home. Sure. But if I can recreate Taco Bell in my home, then that's what I'm going to do.
It's like the chicken wings you turned me on to. You know what I mean? It's like they're better than all the other chicken wings. They're not as good as going out, but they're good.
Listen here, partner. There's only one thing I have in my house. El Paso.
El Paso. Ortega.
All right, this is... So here's the deal. When you read the headline, it sounds much worse. So Bruce Springsteen gets arrested for drunk driving. All right? So then Jeep pulls his Super Bowl ad. So it's like he got arrested. It happened back in November 14th. Mm-hmm. It happened at the Gateway National Recreational Area in New Jersey. I've been to this part of Jersey. I think he's on the Jersey Shore riding his motorcycle or something.
Okay.
And he stops off in like a parking lot. But they charged him with driving while intoxicated, reckless driving, and consuming alcohol in a closed area. Now, have you heard the story?
I have not. I just saw he had a DUI. Jeep pulled the ad.
So he blew on the breathalyzer. He blew a .02. What happened was he's literally out on. I think he was on his motorcycle, and he pulls into this like park, and somebody gives him a shot of tequila, and he's like, sure, why not? The cops see it, and then hit him with all those charges, and I was like. It's just kind of a weird one. It's like, right, but he's not, he like took the test. Like he's not,
right.
He's not over the limit.
But I guess you can't drink if you're sitting in your seat, right? So even if I'm sitting in the driver's seat, the car is parked, that's the only thing I can guess.
I'm drinking in my car, but
so I'm guessing it's more like, look, we got to hit you with this. It gets filed under DUI, even though that's not your actual crime, but that is how it's labeled legally, right?
No, and you're right? Because I was talking about it earlier.
Sucks. I'm just saying it's one thing. It's
not like people. I mean, a lot of people like after work go to the bar, have a couple beers, depending on your weight, how many beers you can have, and then drive home. You know what I mean? Like they're not breaking the law. So I was just like,
but if you're in your car or vehicle,
but you're right. If you're sitting, I guess that's the difference.
I think that's the only difference, right?
It's a new song I wrote called 1-800-DUI away. Something like this.
Obviously, Jeep, since they are a car company, didn't want to have the ad in there. They haven't scrapped it all together. And look, drinking and driving is bad. It shouldn't be condoned.
We know that. Yep.
I don't, that one just, I'm just like, oh man, can you imagine that? He probably just give it two thoughts, like, oh sure.
But the story is different than the headline, right?
And can you imagine those people?
Like, dude.
Right? Like, that goes from a story of we saw Springsteen on the Jersey Shore.
Got him a shot of tequila to...
And now we got him busted, and he just lost a Jeep endorsement. Like,
I'd kind of be proud of that. Like, look...
I feel terrible.
I would feel terrible, but it's a story worth telling your friends. I'm never going to see Bruce again, unless he comes looking for me because he has a record. But
well, he might, because you're probably getting arraigned at the same time, right? Because I'm sure those people got arrested.
Are they dealing with him?
Oh, man, I would feel terrible. I'd be like, sorry, boss.
No, I would feel bad, but it is what it is at this point. Like, I'm the guy that gave Bruce Springsteen the shot of tequila. Like, if you're, what's the show? To Tell the Truth, right? Anthony Anderson's been rehosting the new. That's the guy I'd want to guess on. You know, these three people got him a DUI. They're responsible for handing him the shot. I want to hear the story.
I guess I just feel like that's different than the Piano Man. I think.
Billy
Joel.
Right.
Like, he had like 3 DUIs, I think, all in the Hamptons.
But he's drunk.
He was notorious for getting in his car when he was wasted, cruising around.
I think I'd only feel bad if it was Cuervo Gold.
Yeah, like, I gave him a crappy shot.
Dude, man, if it was just something good.
Hey, Casanova, like, don't feel bad for him.
Yeah, he's good.
It was worth it.
Casamigos? Sure.
Yeah, and the Jersey Shore has weird rules.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you can bring a bottle into a restaurant. There's a lot of BYOBs.
Exactly. I mean, or you can bring beers into a dance. Well, I hate calling it strip clubs. They're just in bikinis. So it doesn't
Yeah,
count.
Jersey's got some weird law. Like they had 20 liquor licenses in 1863, and they've never upped the total. So to have an actual liquor license costs you like millions of dollars.
Well, and it costs money to get on their beaches. Now, with that said, compared to Maryland beaches, their beaches are beautiful.
Beaches.
But it is, and he's from the shore, right? Asbury Park?
Long Beach Island.
He's got the cash.
But yeah, it just, I don't know. That shocked me the first time I went there. I was like, we got to pay to get on the beach? Why don't we just walk on the beach? They're like, they'll check you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right. Let's see. HBO's developing a Scooby-Doo spinoff that'll be the original story of Velma.
Oh, really? Who was pining for this? I mean, it might even be good. It's not that. It's that, what is the demand to know the backstory of Velma?
I don't know.
Give me hot-ass Daphne, like, yeah.
I'm on Scooby Don't, and he's a bad dog.
Right.
He just bites people?
Yeah.
Oh,
He has rabies.
He's crazy. He gets in the trash. You come home, the couch is absolutely ripped up and torn up.
Poops on the
Scooby-Doo!
carpet.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Scooby-Doo was not a huge thing for me.
Really? He was massive for me, man.
Right, and I get the reference points and everything. I just never watched most of it. And then there was the little dude, Scooby.
No, that's when I stopped watching. They introduced Scrappy-Doo.
Scrappy-Doo.
I hated that. Man, to me, he ruined Scooby-Doo. Don't even get me started.
Well, Mindy Kaling, she'll be the voice of the new animated series.
Oh, so it's animated.
And it says the series is geared towards adults.
All right.
No other details or casting's been announced. They also didn't say if it'll handle her sexual orientation.
Again, I don't care.
No, we've never watched them engage in any sexual activity.
Right, there was
one way or the other.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter.
Are you a lesbian?
Look,
Now, there's no sex, but I want to know about you.
I don't care who Scooby licks at home.
Well, I think it's one of those.
Maybe that's the backstory of Velma.
I think it's one of those things like.
That's her Scooby snack.
Right, like who's the girl on Peanuts that calls everybody sir?
Marcy.
Is it Marcy?
Yeah, she's Peppermint Patty's friend and calls Peppermint Patty sir.
All right, right. So there's a couple of these cartoons that for years people have been like, do you think they're homosexuals? I'm with you. I don't know why it matters. But also, who knows? Maybe that could help people that haven't come out yet be like, well, if Velma came out.
Velma can do it.
I'll say this. My dog finally admitted that it has sex with a canary. So I know the Peanuts can be groundbreaking.
Yeah. That took me a second. I was like, what is going on in your house? I didn't even know you had a bird. All right. That's what's kind of interesting. How do you guys deal with watching shows with your other half in your house?
What do you mean deal with?
Like, do you start them at the same time? Do you watch the same shows? Do you go to separate rooms?
I think we're probably 25% the same shows that we're like dedicated, invested in watching. There's a couple of random shows that you use as a time killer, but she has more shows than I do.
All right.
And generally, she will watch them either early in the morning, anytime I'm not home, because I can't keep my mouth shut. I just can't. So I believe she has more shows than me, and she watches hers. And I might have one or two that I watch when she and the kids are asleep.
Do you have trouble watching nighttime shows during the daytime?
If my association is that they're at night, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Mm-hmm. That's why if I had to stream a show, right, that the whole season, like WandaVision's out. I've read good things about Wanda. I have no idea what it's about, but I've read good reviews of it. So my wife's like, we should watch that. But her rule, she said, look, let's wait for the entire season to happen, and then we'll just binge it. So
that's basically it.
If we started on a weekend, it'll be a daytime show to me. If we started at night, it'll be a nighttime show to me.
See, I don't know that I count the weekends. I'm just saying, like to me, if I get up in the morning, like I'm either watching news or like some kind of sports.
Sure.
Like I would never sit there and watch like a show that I generally watch at night.
No,
the
not
weekend bets are off. You know what I mean?
My schedule's different on the weekend, though.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a Sunday. You're just a little hungover. You're not doing anything. Like, we'll watch a Peaky Blinders.
I mean, if it's a work day, yeah, give me news, give me sports. You want to get your mind in a certain frame of mind when you get to work, right? Which is understanding what's happening in the world. But yeah, on the weekend, like, I got nothing to do. Throw on Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I was going to say, even like some of the Alaska shows I watch, like Life Below Zero. Like,
how many do you watch now? Didn't some guy from Bush, I don't know anything about the shows, but I keep seeing a side headline that...
Yeah, the dad from Alaskan Bush People, he died. He passed away. Billy.
I don't Spoiler alert! I don't know who he is.
Have you not seen any of them?
I have not. So do they follow the same family?
So Alaskan Bush People, that was just that family.
Okay, I did not know that.
But some of that family had gotten in trouble too because some, like, if you live in Alaska, they give you they pay you to live in Alaska because they want people to live there.
Sure.
But I guess some of the kids had moved down to the lower 48 but hadn't let Alaska know.
So you're getting the money, right?
Right. They got in some trouble, and then that was always their. that was just their so that one just followed them. But then there's like one I watched called Port Protection, which is just these people that live in this one.
So you.
Yeah.
Port Protection.
Right. So they're loners, but they got to help each other out. It's a small community there, but it's a community.
They trade, they barter.
Right. Yeah, basically. And sometimes, like some people are really good at hunting and fishing, but they're terrible at building stuff. So you got to call the neighbor.
Okay.
And then I watched another one called Life Below Zero. That follows different families, or like the one lady, Sue, she runs like an airport way out in she's crazy. She's a tough lady, right? And it's just you just see their everyday life. And a lot of that show is crazy because the Life Below Zero people, a lot of them legit live on their own in cabins and stuff that they hand built, and that they go months without seeing light or another human. And I'm just like,
ooh. I'm sure they're very well adjusted. So this is like our Real Housewives of Altoona.
That's how they got the name Bush people.
Yeah, so basically, but again, like I watch those shows at night to relax on a flat screen while I use a vaporizing marijuana pen and anything other technology I can use.
That guy's a man right there.
I'm at 70 degrees right now.
I know, it's just funny. But I'm saying, I wouldn't get up in the morning and be like, hey, let's check in on Port Protection. All right, so most people, back to the watching TV shows or whatever, basically people said they'd rather watch a show or movie they don't like than fighting over the remote.
What?
65%.
No. You find the middle goddamn ground. I know that you don't feel like the fight. There is no fight. Like, look. Let's just find. Just let me tolerate it.
All right,
but I can't hate it.
So 65% of people said sitting through a show you hate is a sign of true love.
To the other person, yes.
Yeah,
without question.
You're self-loathing. You know how many times I've sat through We Be This?
42%.
You know he's an alcoholic.
All right, hang on. There's the flip side too. 42% said it would be a deal breaker if someone they were dating hated their favorite show or movie.
Look, it's one of the times you take for yourself, though. So my wife likes We Be This, whatever it's called in real life, right? But basically, it's a show of a family that cries a lot and everything sucks. That, to me, is the entire plot. I know she likes it. I don't understand it. I'm like, watching people be miserable. So the thing is, I can sit through it with her if it's on, but I do other things. That's when I go on the computer, or I just get up and leave.
I just don't think that being married, you don't have to lose your individual identity and the things that you like and your taste and everything else.
Miles, you're wrong.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
you will like this show with me.
You watch whatever you want. I'm just not interested, and I'm not going to watch it, and that's okay.
You don't want to watch the Penthouse Channel tonight? Fine.
But we can agree on a movie or a show to watch together after you're done. You know?
Most people said that they, when they can't find something to watch, they usually fall back on something they've already seen. I'm super guilty of that.
I don't do that much. That's not something I do.
Depends.
It's comedy.
It's Goodfellas.
I go back. Well,
Yeah.
not movies, but just comedies. Like sometimes I'll just watch old Seinfeld, old Trailer Park. I mean, I've watched Trailer Park Boys that whole season or that whole series probably 4 times.
Comedy Central's got South Park on. Like
South Park's on all the time.
South
Like
Park
American Dad, Family Guy.
Right.
Like if it's dumb and a comedy, I'm in. And then finally, 59% of people said they grabbed food before sitting down in front of the TV, and they finished eating before they found something to watch. I'm super guilty of that, too.
Been there.
Like, I'll have a handful of chips, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, now we're just snacking.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with a dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed.
You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Alabama teen is reunited with a pet rooster lost in a Cracker Barrel after a Civil War reenactment. Meanwhile, a Louisiana man tries Gorilla Glue Challenge with a solo cup and his tongue, and guess how that went? Soldier gets drunk and burns 7 cars in barracks parking lot. Pennsylvania police called to domestic dispute and find a whole lot of pot. And a cow has been banned from Facebook for being too sexy. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, top story. We go to Pennsylvania where a couple have been arrested after a domestic dispute call. When the officers got there, they conducted a search of the home, which turned up their marijuana grow operation. Not only did they find multiple plants inside the home, but weapons as well, and they were arrested and now face charges.
Yeah, just bring them to you guys.
Again,
right.
We're not encouraging you to lead a life of crime.
He bit into my hamburger!
But if you're going to lead a life of crime, do everything you can to not involve the police.
Right.
That's all. That's all we're saying.
Every factor of your life.
Right.
Find literally any other way to solve your problems than to need to get the cops involved.
If I'm a cop, I'm mad. Like, how stupid are you?
I'm going to give you every rule in the book, man. I'm going to write you up for everything.
I'd have never known about this, but you called me here.
Right. Another news over in Scotland. One driver got stopped for not brushing the snow off quite enough. Officers stopped the car after they found not only the roof covered in about 6 inches of snow, but the trunk, rear window, hood, and windshield covered in the same sheet of snow.
They basically had a peephole out the front.
They did.
It was like driving a tank.
Yeah.
Looking to make sure that they weren't completely nuts, they did scrape a small peephole in the windshield so that they could see. It honestly looks like, you know those old scuba suits that had the big tank with the small hole that was right in the front?
Yeah,
That's about all they gave themselves on that windshield. It was absolutely madness. So
Plus, I mean, it looks like you were looking at it like a periscope.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
Seems like a good time to bring this up, too. Clear the snow off your roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, driving down there, I was stuff blowing on the cars.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
It is not that hard. It doesn't take too much time. Don't worry. The snow brushes are all over the place in all the stores right now. They're not terribly expensive. You're good to go. And this guy didn't even give it any effort whatsoever. It looked like he took one handful and just kind of flipped it out to where he knew his head was going to be for driving, because there wasn't even that nice little swipe leading to the edge of the car. It almost looked like he brought a little, clam shovel and grabbed that snow out of there.
It's about the size of a small Tupperware container.
Right. Great work, boss. Goodness gracious.
Burning hell.
Down in Mississippi, a teenager lost a pet at the Cracker Barrel. While traveling with his rooster from a Civil War reenactment, the teen, along with a group, stopped at the local Cracker Barrel for a bite. While their order was cooking, they leashed the rooster and walked him about until the food was ready and left him outside the restaurant. After enjoying their food, he came out to find that the rooster was missing.
Oh, yeah.
He searched for a while, and putting a post on social media, he made it all the way home before he got word that someone had found him and he was returned.
He ain't gonna die.
He ain't gonna die.
Yeah, they come to get the rooster.
When mistakes go viral, challenges get made.
Fries.
A young man in Louisiana posted a video doing what he called the Gorilla Glue Challenge, in which he took a red Solo cup, put a line of Gorilla Glue inside, and pretended to drink from it.
Yuck, 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 yuck.
With the intent of adhering it to his lip, thinking that he could simply lick it off. This, of course, was not the case. He ended up in the ER with the cup firmly glued to his lip, where the doctor went through the painful process of removing it, saying that if his lip doesn't heal properly, they will need to remove it via surgery.
People know what that glue is for.
Gorilla Glue.
What do you know? The doctor, he, and Gorilla Glue are saying, don't do this, and that is it for your headlines with that, Mike Hawkins up.
Tell you, our 50th anniversary tomorrow. We'll see you bright and early at 6 a.m. with BJ and Miggs as they kick off the festivity.
Yes, indeed. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. But until next time, our 50th anniversary, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.